What's going on, everyone? Mike Kadlick, Tayler Kyles here for CLNS Media inside of Gillette Stadium as Elliott Wolf, Mike Vrabel, Robert Kraft, and the Patriots introduce some of their 2025 free agency class, headlined by Morgan Moses, Carlton Davis, Milton Williams, and Robert Spillane. We got to speak to all four players today, and overall feels like good vibes from all four guys. Now, Milton Williams seemingly comes here for the money, as he does. He gets $26 million per season, but everybody else had some connections to this Patriots team. So before we get into every single guy, overall, what's your take on the start of this Patriots new class?
When you talk about wanting to build a culture, I know that can be something that's kind of overblown a little bit because at the end of the day, it matters what you do on the field. I don't think anybody questions that these are good players, and on top of it, listening to them, you can see why they were so attractive, and you can also say, yeah, the Patriots overspent, but these are the kind of guys you want in the locker room. These are the kind of guys I think you pay an extra premium. Like Morgan Moses, the opinion was unanimous among everybody on the beat who was here. It's like I want to run through a brick wall for that guy. So on top of actually being impactful players on the field, it seems like they're going to have a significant impact on the locker room.
Yeah, for sure. We'll go through each guy now, starting off with Carlton Davis. Comes in from Detroit. Familiarity with Tayler Williams, the new defensive coordinator. He was the defensive line coach for the Lions last season. Spoke a lot about being wanted by the Patriots throughout the process, and that was sort of one of the reasons why he came here and why the pitch was so enticing to him. Also mentioned teaming up with Christian Gonzalez, saying he's excited that he's a young player and that he actually dove in to Christian Gonzalez's film and saw that he's long, rangy, and is someone he looks forward to playing with on the opposite side.
Yeah, I mean, Carlton Davis, this is the perfect 1-2 punch. I would say I think he's been mischaracterized as a true number one corner. I just don't think he has the physical ability, but he's got the competitiveness, he's got the toughness, and that's allowed him to still be able to hang with these guys to some degree. Now, Christian Gonzalez can take the true number one threats. Carlton Davis can be the physical man corner. And also, you know, Mike Vrabel kind of alluded to it as well. He said he wants to play cat defense, where you got this cat, I got this cat. So Carlton Davis, man coverage isn't going anywhere. A really good compliment to Christian Gonzalez. Also, when you talk about like being wanted, same thing that Milton Williams said. And you know what that means? It's a translation for they paid me a lot of money. Also, Davis, it seemed like he really did care about knowing Tayler Williams. He said, hey, he knows my game, he understands it, and respects what I bring, and I had the same for him. So that mutual relationship, again, having these connections matters, and that seemed like on top of the money, a big draw for Davis.
Former Super Bowl champion as well, played with Tom Brady down in Tampa Bay for a couple seasons there, won Super Bowl against Kansas City Chiefs, and mentioned how Brady has sort of made an impact, had an impact on his career moving forward, and that he liked playing in front of the Gillette Stadium fans when Tom and the Buccaneers came back. So cool interview with Carlton Davis. Morgan Moses, also the big winner today, comes in, cracks a huge smile, comes in with all the swag, and basically says and talks about the pitch.
I know the question is coming about, you know, what was the pitch of coming here? But when you got a guy like Coach Vrabel, man, you don't need a pitch, man. You know, because I know how it is to hold the bag for our offensive line and D linemen out there at practice when I'm holding my son's bags or I'm coaching his team, and it hurts when you don't got pads on. So, you know, for a guy like that to go out there and do that, and obviously he's won in multiple facets of his career, you know, as a player and as a coach. So when you got a guy a leader of men that's willing to step aside and put himself on the line for the better good for the team, it's an easy decision.
So what did you take away from his availability today?
My biggest takeaway was the same as everybody else in the room. We all were like, we want to run through a break for Morgan Moses. I mean, you can see why this was a guy they absolutely prioritized, because not only does he bring good perspective on the field, right? You know, he talked about playing with Drake May, wanting to get on the same page to understand how he can do his job better, but also the mentorship aspect. And just like Carlton Davis touched on how Tom Brady was someone who helped them on the field, but also off, and how to prolong your career, how to be successful in the NFL. Morgan Moses got that when he was with Trent Williams early in his career in Washington. So another guy who's one of the best of all time at their positions, who Morgan Moses was able to learn from. And he said, hey, mentorship is in my DNA. It's something he wants to impart here. So again, we know Morgan Moses is a good player. Yeah, he's up there in age, but also mentioned how he took care of his body. The guy slept in a cryo chamber. And a few guys, like Milton Williams we'll get to in a minute, but when it comes to taking care of your body and not letting the wear and tear of football start to pile up like a lot of young players do, that was an emphasis from all of these guys. So it's good to know that when they're coming to New England, they're going to take care of themselves and try to be as available as possible, but also impart that on the younger players.
Robert Spillane, another signing by the Patriots earlier this week, comes in on a 3-year deal. Was originally brought into the league by Mike Vrabel in 2018 with the Tennessee Titans. Spillane mentioned that he's known Vrabel since he was in high school during his recruiting days while he was at Ohio State. Seems like somebody who's, you know, roaring and ready to come over here. I know you asked him a question, so I'll let you dive into a little bit about his his awareness and the way he's able to track the ball, and he's always in the right spot on defense. What did you make of his answer to that?
Yeah, well, first and foremost, I wanted to mention Mike Vrabel kind of also talked about knowing Spillane because he entered the league for Mike Vrabel's Titans, and he actually said that they made a joke out of trying to make Spillane miss in open space because he wasn't doing it. And that's backed up in the stats. He brought it over to his NFL career, had one of the lowest missed tackle rates among linebackers. So, I mean, when you look at his skill set for this new modern age Mike Vrabel defense, yeah, he's rangy, he can fly around, but it doesn't matter if you don't have that next level, right? If you want to be a true heart of a defense, which I think Spillane can be, and make plays on the ball. And he said that's the difference. And I wanted to know, all right, because when you look at the tape, this guy in different parts of the field, the instincts, like he's always trying to get his hands on passes. And he said sometimes he'll do blind conditioning or something where he'll, I guess, blindfold himself and go through drills, which I don't know how that works. I can't wait till we can talk to him again. Like Daredevil Born Again is out. I wonder if he takes some inspiration. But in all seriousness, the fact that he puts that extra work in to try to be a playmaker, which this defense has lacked for so long. Juwan Bentley is a fantastic player, but because he's not the rangiest, doesn't make a lot of plays on the ball, and Spillane understands how important that is. So not only the awareness to do that, but also the skill set. He seems very aware of what he does well on the field. So a really good addition and someone I think is going to quickly endear himself to Patriots fans, like really everybody in this free agent class.
100%. Mike Vrabel mentioning while talking with Spillane as well that they had signed him, or they told him that he made the roster, and he called his mother and he basically cried when it first happened down in Tennessee. And today he signed his contract on his mother's birthday. So a really cool moment for not only Spillane but his entire family. Now finally, the big one, Milton Williams. He's on the screen here right with us, signs the massive 4-year, $100+ million contract with the Patriots. And I keep using this word, but he really seems like a guy who was all business. Not that it was a bad thing that he didn't crack a smile, but he's motivated and he's ready to go. Answered some questions about his almost signing with the Carolina Panthers before coming back and
cracked a little smile.
Yeah, that was the one smile where he said the Patriots made him a priority, basically meaning they gave him the biggest bag of cash. So he wanted to make the Patriots a priority back, which you can't blame him. He's going to come in here and look to potentially increase his snap percentage as well. He played less than 50% of his snaps in all 4 seasons with Philadelphia. So what did you make of Milton Williams, what he had to say today? How much are you looking forward to adding him to the defensive line here?
I mean, Mike Vrabel and Milton Williams were very aware of the skepticism around the increased snap count. Yes. I actually have a video breaking that down. Go check it out. Become a member of Patriots Press Pass, but we're not plugging right now. But Milton Williams, he mentioned that he's someone who didn't have anything handed to him. He came from a small school coming into the NFL. He did break out last season for the first time, but he was also behind some of the best defensive linemen, some would argue, in NFL history. And then he seized his opportunity. And one thing he kind of pushed back, Vrabel said, like, yeah, no, we're kind of confident that he'll continue to improve if he has more snaps. And he said, if I'm just on the field more, gives me more opportunities to make plays. This is a player who just turned 26, is on the upward trajectory. So with Terrell Williams and this coaching staff, you hope they can continue to make him a well-rounded player. Something else I kind of asked him about, and it's just the work ethic from him. It's something he emphasized a lot. And you say all business, yeah, of course he wanted his bag of cash, right? But he also understands the responsibility that he has as now the highest paid player. I actually made a joke about that. He just won the Super Bowl, and he was like, I thought that would be the best day of my life. Yeah. And I think this jumps that because I'm the highest paid player in Patriots history over Tom Brady, which is insane. So if anybody was worried about Milton Williams resting on his laurels and maybe not improving now that he's got his money, I wouldn't be so concerned.
An exciting start to the Mike Vrabel era here in FOXBORO, introducing Carlton Davis, Robert Spillane, Morgan Moses, and Milton Williams as the newest Patriots. Make sure you keep it here on Patriots Press Pass for all of the offseason action. Rate, review, and subscribe to the channel. Just wanted to give a quick shout out to our friends over at Prize Picks. If you want to get in on the action with us, head over there, use code CLNS. You get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game.
I'm not going to lie, they had us in the first half. After agreeing to terms with the Carolina Panthers, former Eagles defensive tackle Milton Williams decided to pivot to the Patriots after being offered a 4-year deal worth $104 million, making him the 3rd highest paid defensive tackle by average annual value and the highest paid Patriots player by average annual value in team history. Now, there is skepticism over whether Williams can live up to his contract, as he's coming from an Eagles defensive line that was absolutely stacked with talent and was able to rotate players due to their depth. But I'm going to take a look at the stats and the film to prove that Milton Williams can not only be a difference maker as a pass rusher, but also as a run defender and become the key piece to what is going to be a revamped Mike Vrabel defense. Take this 3rd down red zone sack against Falcons right guard Cody Lindstrom. Lindstrom comes out of his stance with both hands out in front, and Milton Williams decides to counter by first swiping to knock the guard off balance, then continuing to swipe away the hands, getting underneath Lindstrom, and taking down Kirk Cousins for a sack. Milton Williams did a full 180 as a pass rusher in 2024. Unfortunately, the same can be said for his run defense, and not in a good way. After ranking top 10 among interior defensive linemen in run stop rate in 2023, Milton Williams graded out as a bottom 10 interior run stopper in 2024.
Make sure to become a Patriots Press Pass member so you'll get full access to this Milton Williams deep dive, as well as all of our other exclusive content.